Don't step away from you to fulfill what other people want to hear, because you're not a jukebox. You're a creative human being.
Moi j'en ai marre, je vous l'ai déjà dit. Y a pas que moi, y a surtout les esprits. Jusqu'à la mort, c'est ça la vie. We from the old school. Don't let them rope you. You running things, stay in your lane, wishing to smoke you. Grenade à la sauce. Ça qui mourit, ça fait aïe.
Me and my little sister. We used to play hide and seek, right? I come from school, and then but we play it weird. Like, she'll find something of mine, and she'll hid it somewhere, and she'll be like, go find this, you know? And I'll be like, okay, where did you put it? Oh my God, Chelsea, where is it? You know? And find that thing. One day, this little girl, I came from school, I put my phone in charge, and I went outside. I was talking to somebody. I don't remember what happened. And then she came outside and be like, where's your phone? Where's your phone? So I'm like, okay, that means I gotta go find my phone. I'm looking all around. I spent hours looking for that phone. I couldn't find it. I'm pissed. I'm like, Chelsea, where did you put my phone? She kept laughing. And I'm like, I'm getting mad. I'm like, Chelsea, I don't want to, give you a whooping. Like, where's my phone? This girl walked into the guest bathroom, lift the toilet bowl, and my phone was just sitting there. I was like,
oh my God.
Yo. At this time, remember, there's no iPhone. There's no transferring of contacts. There's no nothing. You lost everything. That was like MySpace days. Like, everything was gone.
What?
I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream. And she was just standing there. She was just standing there looking so innocent and so cute. I couldn't even be mad at her. I was like, Chelsea. And she was like, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, oh my God. And I went outside and I'm like, hey, yo, father, like, look what your daughter just did. I need a new phone. This nigga look at me and say, that's your sister. I did not get a phone. Yo, I did not get a phone until like months later. Imagine high school, you don't have no money, you're not working, you have to wait for your parent to like give you something. And he took his sweet time. I lost all my friends, all my contacts, all my numbers. And every time I look at her,
you should know, if you don't have a phone, you don't have to.
Every time I look at her, I'm like, do I still love you? But that's my baby though. And she still bring that up. She hears people tell the story, so she'd be like, what happened to your phone? I'm like, Chelsea, you grown now. I can beat you up now. You can't make jokes about this. It's still fresh. Yo.
Guys, I'm just tired today. like not with it.
It's a day.
I can hear it in your voices. I can get it. I get it. Yeah, I mean,
the month just started, but I'm ready for it to end. Like, come on,
yo,
now.
Like this year just like
went by so fast.
I know. I understand what you guys
baby.
But Cass is not tired because Cass is not pregnant today, and Cass doesn't have any children.
Yo, what you trying to say? I'm not pregnant and I don't have any kids. What you mean?
Then why are you tired? Why are you tired?
Listen, I don't think people understand there is a whole other life besides children. Like, I have other things that makes me tired. It doesn't necessarily have to be kids.
I can't even imagine if like today, after like the whole night I had, like I had to wake up to like.
Let's not even get into the night that she had. It's a Saturday morning. PG-13, please.
Oh my God! Whatever.
Don't tell nobody what you did last night.
I'm censoring y'all. Okay.
Use your imagination, people.
What other reasons though? Like, why would you wouldn't want to have like? I mean, besides being able to like
Not being
have a
tired.
wonderful night and, waking up whenever the fuck you want to and doing whatever you want for the rest of that day. I mean, that's a good advantage, but I mean, there must be good things about having kids.
Picking up the
Mm.
remote when you're too tired.
I mean, buik sa appetit,
She said picking up the remote. That is true. I'm always losing that damn remote. Like I need
Hey,
somebody to find
listen.
it.
I mean, we're good now. We have remotes. Do you remember when you had to turn some stuff and you had to do
Yo,
something with the antenna, which is really kind of like
Yo,
a hanger?
like for family meal, aka Ted Papa.
yo, I am not gonna lie. I can't. That's the only part I think I would enjoy in having children. Like I will enjoy the making them suffer part. Like, how do I mess
I feel
them
like
up
that's why our
today?
parents
No,
enjoyed a
let's
lot.
not let Vanessa have any children. All right.
Listen, I tell myself that. I'm
But I feel
like,
like she's already feeling the pressure though, being like a new like married lady and
That's
everything.
true. Tell us
I feel
about
like
that, Vanessa. How
I
does
feel
it
like you
feel like
guys
you
planned
have
this.
people
Y'all
telling
planned to
you?
attack me. I believe this. I think this was planned. I really believe it. I believe
Guilty.
it. But
Oh well.
I don't know. Like I feel like I'm the type that always have a plan. I want this to happen at that time, this to happen at this time. So I always had a plan, like I'm gonna get married at this age, or if I don't get married, that's fine. I'm gonna get my career done at this age, and then I'm gonna have a kid at that age, and we're gonna be happy little family. We're gonna do things together. Like I can't wait, right? But
How many
then
people in your fantasy? 4 kids or
I
one?
have 4 kids. I always go with how many kids I
And this
have.
economy?
I
Listen,
mean, she's
listen.
giving us the fantasy. I want the
Uh-uh,
details.
uh-uh, uh-uh. I always went with I have 2 hands, so I want 2 kids. One in this hand, one in that hand. I do not want to have you be
And
have
the
seen,
husband get none.
now I'm good with that because I never picture myself like, oh yeah, my husband's gonna take over. I always picture myself as independent. It's so weird. It's like even though I know I might have somebody in my life, but it's always an option. It's like you can be here and you cannot be here. Like it's cool. I'll be good. But my point is, you never see those people like they be having one baby in one hand, one child in the other end, and then they lose track of the other one, and they be like, "Oh my god, what do I do? I cannot let go of one and find the other." Like
That's my
you got
story in all IKEA. You go to IKEA, that's exactly what you see.
I
yo.
mean, honestly, I feel like one is already too many. So,
See,
but I mean, I can get that like people might like want to start a
2.
family.
I don't want to
I
have
mean,
one because
Well,
one
there
would
is a
be
lot of like
unfair.
reason why people would want to have children. I mean, not
Yeah,
mhm.
that I'm advocating for it. I personally do not want to have children because I don't have the money to pay somebody to be the surrogate, and then I don't have the money to pay somebody to take care of the
struggle,
kid.
Giving birth is
And
kind of gross.
struggle.
right, it's not even like the giving
Thinking
birth.
about not having the money is a struggle. Like
You're
man,
going through all of that and that stress of like in the physical stress, the mental stress. And then it's
Mhm.
like the money that you could go to J. Crew or TJ Maxx and get some shit for yourself. Now you have to think
Mhm.
about, oh, like the nursery. I gotta buy this and that, and then the diapers and whatever. Yes, you can get some shit for like when you get the baby shower, but people will be cheap. It's not like they're giving you a whole lot.
I don't do baby showers. I already said even if I have a child, I do not want to have no baby shower. I do
I
But I
not
don't
want.
mean,
know. I
like,
feel like I would. Even
I
if I'm
want to
not
sit my
carrying the
ass
kid, I
down.
want to have a baby
No,
shower.
I'll send you my address. Send me the gift. But why do I gotta feed
Nah.
you and sit in front of you like an idiot and be like, yeah, and be
Oh,
so
I had
touching
a
my
friend who wanted to do
stomach?
a virtual baby
Ugh,
shower.
what?
She
a
wanted to like,
virtual baby
no,
I
she
will
shower.
wanted to have
actually
like
give you that.
a baby shower like online.
Ooh,
All
send
the
me
gifts
gift.
were sent. What?
Like sponsored by Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
Like,
Something like that. Like they would send her all of the food, like all of the stuff, and then she
yeah.
would just go like on Facebook Live for like 30 minutes and say thank you for the
Oh
gifts
my
and
God, I
wow.
love that idea. Thank you so much, whoever thought about it.
don't steal it. Don't steal it. I don't think she's my friend anymore, so don't steal her idea, people.
No, I want her idea. I'm so sorry. I just stole it. Like, I apologize
So
in advance,
y'all just
but it's
basically
not.
just gonna be like, all right, y'all, just send me the money, okay?
Yeah, send me the gifts.
I'll
Like, come
tag you
on,
in a
bro.
post.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we
Yes.
mean by
Shower.
showering.
Yeah,
What
virtual
else do
baby
you need
shower.
flowers
Because
for?
that cut the cost of like getting a location. It cuts the cost
Bruh,
of
Well, how about
everything.
you
paying
don't
people.
have a kid and then you can cut
Listen,
all those costs? Because I don't
no.
understand how you want me to like you don't even want to like spend time like
Let me
you're
get
just
this
like
straight.
just send it.
I'm
Like
pregnant. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm big as hell. You want me to sit there and no, 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 but you want me to play dummy for you, like feed you and talk to you, just for you to give me something that costs $20. Just buy
I
it. Like,
I don't
why
know,
do
Vanessa.
you
Nobody forced you to have a
I'm
child.
literally coming for the
listen?
food. I bring the gifts just so I don't feel bad. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Like
That's exactly why they have a wedding. I
you
don't want to
think I'm
feed
trying to
nobody.
give you this like little onesie,
Yes.
like
You know
auntie?
what?
I'm
No,
not your kid's
you know what
auntie.
But
though?
by the
Like
I do
time I
want
spend
to have a
money
wedding.
to have that party, I basically just pay you to buy me that gift.
damn
Like,
No,
right.
no, I want to have a wedding, but I want everybody to bring something. I'm gonna have like a wedding potluck style and
potluck wedding.
everything.
Yes, I like
And then
it.
Potluck
like
style.
I want to
Bring
have like
all
a
your shit.
GoFundMe, and then somebody's gonna like volunteer their place for me to you know how like
Yes.
when
Be
weddings
on
like people
Facebook
ask for
Live.
yeah
I'll see you
and then
on Facebook Live with
you know
that
what
damn
I'm gonna do
potluck.
too, like I'm just like gonna manipulate all of the bridesmaid. I'm gonna be like, you know what so and so is getting me, like she's getting me a car. And I was like, like it's
How
too
did
much
you
to
get
give.
to
Like,
wedding?
he's such a good friend, you know?
Bro,
So
but I
are
feel
you
you
gonna
on that
like
though. I
are
can't
you
I
gonna like
can't.
outdo her or what?
Ooh, and if I happen to be
That's
pregnant,
fire.
I'm putting that out there before we even get deeper in the conversation. If I happen to be pregnant, do not touch my stomach. Do not volunteer. Do not ask. Do not put yourself in there and be like, let me touch. Do not think people think every time you're pregnant, like you no longer a person. Like, no, this is my personal space still. Like, do not touch my stomach. I just wanted to say that. Go on. Carry on,
All
I
people.
right,
feel like a
I'll
lot
keep
of
that in
pregnant
mind.
women feel that. So
Yes.
just
Don't
speaking for
touch me.
them.
Don't touch
But
me.
back to what like how or when somebody would make the decision to have children or not have children. Like what like is that something you think about long term or is
Mm.
that something that you decide like overnight? Let's say you meet somebody, you're going out on a date. Do you pick your partner based on how you want to raise your children? Or do you find out like in the end, like if they are a good fit or not? And let's say like you were dating somebody for 4 years and then you all of a sudden want to have kids and you feel like they will not be good parent, would you be like, fuck it, I'm gonna get pregnant anyway, or do you
Mm.
break up and then go have children with
Ooh,
somebody else?
yikes. Um, See, I do think about that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think about it like to make my decision in the beginning, if I'm being honest. But I'm an overthinker about all type of scenarios. So I do think about like my children's future, like how I want to raise them, what type of morals and lessons I want to pass on to them, and all those type of stuff, right? And then I do think there are certain things me and my partner we don't have we're not on the same page. And I'm like, I wonder a lot, like, okay, so if I have that kid and we're not on the same page on that, are we gonna argue about this?
Mhm.
Is my kid gonna listen to me or listen to their dad? You know what I'm saying? I do think about that a lot. But then you have to realize you change as a person as well. So if you decide to make that decision based on the first date, that person might not be the same person by the next year, or they might not have the same idea, or they might not want the same thing. And then what are you gonna do then? Or if you already have that kid, what are you gonna do then? You know what I'm saying? I don't
Mhm.
think that should be where you go. If that person makes a good partner and you can see they're not a psychopath, obviously, they will be a good dad. They might not be the picture dad that you picturing, because I do picture things a lot in my head, like this is how I want them. I want him to roll with them, every Sunday, doing a picnic, but I don't even like outside. So I know it's all in my head.
Fantasy.
Right? I know it's all in my head, but when it comes to like morals and stuff, I'm like, okay, I want you to accept my kid however my kid comes. Like I talk to him about that all the time. I'm like, I
So what are
know.
some of your like hard stoppers when it comes to like morals and raising a kid and wanting to be on the same page with your partner?
Uh,
Let's go back to
I'm
Muna.
like, I'm still debating that because
Two
I feel like
pieces.
I feel like we're already talking about if I decide to have kids, but I feel like right now I'm at the time where I'm deciding,
Mhm.
and it's bad to say that out loud because you know my partner will think, oh yeah, you're already on board, but I'm like, yeah, I was on board before 100%. I know I keep saying wait another year, and then I'm like, the more I wait, the more I'm like, do I really need to? You know what I'm saying? You know when people
Mhm.
like you get to that point where you like, what is the
Mhm.
reason for you to
Are
have
you
it? I
gonna
know it
get
was
to
a
like
So
a
here's my
certain
question:
point
like,
where
what
it's
are
like
the
this is where it
right?
is?
What are the things that would lean you more towards having children versus the thing that would lead you more, away from having children? Like,
No, I think what I was asking was so, like, in terms of morals, what are some kind of examples of things that you would need your partner to be on the same page with you on in terms of raising the kids? So, like, do
um,
you like let your kids go to church, or do
mm.
you like let your kids play football with the concussions, like things like that that you're just
Oh my
like,
god.
oh, like
I
I
feel
would
like they're gonna
definitely
keep
need that.
changing.
what are the things that
I
they
feel like
definitely have to
they're
be
gonna
on
keep
board?
changing because I keep having more, right?
Mm.
And they keep adding on
But
because,
keep giving us like some examples
but
instead of
example, church and religion. I feel like I wouldn't care if my kid went to church if I explain things to them, but I wouldn't want them to believe in religion or put their faith in certain things the same way that I see a lot of people do. And I don't think I will have a problem in that part because my partner knows who I am and he doesn't do that. So I know I don't have to worry about that, right? But I would want my partner to accept my kid however my kid comes. Gay, straight, nice, shy, whatever. I don't want you to go around and try to change who my kid is because you feel uncomfortable with that subject. You know what I'm saying?
unless
Like
he's a
Mhm.
sociopath.
I need you to practice your open mindedness before I even get there. You know what I'm saying? Those are all conversations I feel like people need to have before they have kids. And people go all willingly. Yeah, like they be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got pregnant. Oops. And it's like they don't take having children as important as I take them. Like I think it's like something that people should sit down and think about, not just have them, not think about, oh, should I have them or should I not have them, but why are you having them and how are you going to raise them?
Mhm.
Because you're not just raising a baby to be cute and put nice clothes on them. You're raising that person. Yeah, you're raising that baby to turn into a person tomorrow and be in society with other people. And a lot of kids don't know how to do that, right? They're raised in a house that didn't accept them for who they are, so they don't even know who they are by the end of the day, or you raise them to not be able to share their thoughts, not be able to share their mind, and you think like, oh, if I give you clothes, if I you don't really appreciate the child as a person. You appreciate the child as a child that
Okay,
you're gonna
baby.
raise.
Advocate for your possibly future child. I'm 100%
Oh yeah, like
behind that.
I'm like all into that, right? But then at the same time, I'm
Mhm.
like, mm, in this world, do I want to have a kid? Like I
Mm.
really think about that. I'm
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
I have so many fears, and I know people have bigger fears as far as the planet and all that stuff. But my fear is like little things, like my kid, would my kid be able to step outside and be comfortable? You know what I'm saying? Well, my kid not. I will have that fear. I have fear now
Mhm.
with my friends if I don't hear from them. I have fear now with my husband every time he step outside the door. So I can only imagine how is that going to magnify when it comes to my children? Because I know
Mhm.
there are certain things I can teach them, but I cannot take away their skin color. You know what I'm saying? I cannot shield them from racism, from everything else that is bad in this world. And I'm very protective. So it's like, do I want to put myself through that? I'm very selfish in my thoughts. It's not really about the kid. It's like, do
Mhm.
I want to go through that pain? You know what I'm saying? Besides
You know,
carrying,
do you hear that, everybody? racism is stopping Nessa from having children. Let's stop racism so that we can get her pregnant, right?
You know what? I'm over you. I am
I
over
feel like
you.
you're kind of sponsored by Nessa's partner. Like, did you have a conversation? We're
Yo,
going we're going after racism to get her pregnant. Let's get her pregnant. All
Let's
right.
get her pregnant. Let's
I
just stop
cannot.
racism and just welcome pregnancy in this world for Nessa.
They plotting,
All right?
Nessa.
I can. I believe it.
Plotting.
I believe it. Like legit.
I plead the
Cause I'm like,
fifth.
you know when you keep changing your mind, like I'll be ready next year.
So like for me, like
See
even
that
thinking like if I even were like going to have kids in terms of like when we're talking about like considering like your partner or whatever, you know what I think about?
Mhm.
Like my grandma had like all the diseases. She had Alzheimer's,
Mhm.
she had high blood pressure, she had hypertension, she had like a lot of things like
you
breast
think the
cancer.
best
So like
take
for
care.
me, I'm like, do you think about like the biological aspect of it too? Because having a
Mhm.
kid is very biological. And like you're having a kid and you know, like not trying to be ableist at all, but you want to have to give your kids kind of the best opportunities
Mhm.
um in the world, or actually at least because the world is already gonna be bad. You're already black, so
Yeah.
your kid will be at least half a problem
Yep.
in this world. And so, you know, like, do you think about these things? Because like for me, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, I think about it because I'm like, I don't know if my genes are something
Mm.
that I want to just,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
you know what I mean.
Mhm. No, I get it.
See, I feel you on that, Nessa. And I think my reason of not even wanting children too, it's not even like the biological side or, the fear of it. It's more like I don't want the responsibility.
Mm.
Mm.
I I
Mm-hmm.
think if I'm gonna be doing something, I want to be good at it. I want to be like 100% of what
People
I'm
don't
giving.
think
I
that
don't want to
way.
just like
Yes.
push out some children and be like, I'm done. Like I'm
All
your mother.
parents fuck up their
Right.
children. Every
Right.
single parent.
I would
True.
not just like I would not want to be responsible for a new human being that's coming
And
into this
having
planet
problems. Yes. It's
and
scary.
not even having problems, just be resentful toward that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like there are so many things that I want to do for myself,
Mhm.
and there are like so many things in certain areas that I want to take care of myself. And I think I don't think I would be able to put a child before me, and I don't
Yeah.
personally feel like it's fair for me to put somebody else before me, even though I feel like it would be the right thing to do when you have children, but I don't want to do it.
Right.
Mm.
So that's I
So
totally like when I tell you like totally,
Mm.
because like a lot of people try to kind of shame me into it by saying, "Oh, that's just selfish,"
Mm.
and it's like
so
first of all, like the default is not for me to have a kid,
Right.
like just because I'm a woman. That's not the
Right.
default. So it's not like I'm
Right.
betraying anything.
Mhm.
First of all,
Mhm.
second of all, it's like yeah, nigga, I'm selfish.
Yeah, what's
Like
wrong with
I
that?
want
Yeah.
to do like what is the problem with that?
Mhm.
What is the
but I feel
problem
like
with
it's very
saying
selfless though. It's selfless not to have children when you know you're selfish. Can you imagine you bringing that like kid in
right?
the
I
world?
try to make that point, but sometimes I don't try to make it.
That's like what you were saying. Like it's amazing because society wants to pressure you into having children. They're not gonna babysit for you. They're not gonna give you that money for school. They're not gonna. If
Mm.
anything, they'll be the one who badmouth you
Mm.
every time. Like you don't get your kid the latest Jordan. You don't do this for your kid. You don't do
No.
that for your kid. Is it best to just have kids and not being able to take care of them, or just not have kids at all? I think it's a very like it's not selfish thing at all. Yeah, you're taking care of
Mm.
yourself, but you also taking care of somebody who would have possibly ended very like in a bad position because you decided to push them out of your vajayjay.
I do think people should be thinking about themselves more when they're thinking
Mhm.
about having
Mhm.
kids
Mhm.
and less about
Right.
what, what is expected of them, either from society or from whoever they're with or from an old narrative that they used to tell themselves when they were younger or anything like that. I feel like you should really look at your life right now and say like, do I want to do that? Like cuz like I don't think, like, even though, like, I'm
Mm,
saying, like, yeah, it's
mhm,
selfish and that's totally fine, but you are right that it is not selfish. Because at the end of the day, you're literally creating, like, a lot of the things that you do, as you said, like, responsibility is the best word for it. Because yes, you're not responsible of everything that your kid does, but you're responsible for, like, onboarding them to the world. And if you don't know yourself, and if you're
mhm,
not, like, really kind of like someone who's really, like, put the thought into it and has actually, like, made the plans about, like, you're talking about what morals you want to give your children, what, like, sense of themselves do you want to give them, like, things like that. It's like a lot of people just kind of deal with these
mhm.
things as they come up.
Afterwards. Yeah, it's like
It's
after
like
they
we'll
have the
cross that
children.
bridge when
That
we get to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's
I gotta
like,
overthink before.
because it's like, okay, so what else? And I feel
Right.
like a lot of people have this feeling of, what else are you gonna do but have children when you get to a certain age? And it's like,
also, like, there are some selfish people
Mm,
out there who just want to have their DNA in the world no
mm,
matter what. Like, even if that DNA turns out to be homeless, they don't give up.
mm.
Just,
legacy.
yeah, they just want to have their legacy.
And
It's
they
like,
want to have, like, this life, like, so they have this picture of this child in their mind, and they want to have, like, that little person that they just made,
Mhm.
to make sure that they turn exactly like that picture in their minds. And it's like, you, like, this is already you setting yourself up for failure, because unless you become this, like, overbearing, controlling parent, I mean, even if you do, you're still gonna fail. There's not a way to control
Mm.
children into becoming who you want them to be. Like, you just build little monsters, like, like Cass was
Uh,
saying in her last read, shitty adults, like.
you know,
shitty baby.
you know what? I understand all that. You know when you know something and you like, I can go ahead and tell that to another parent, but I can already see myself, in the future, and I'm like, would I accept my kid anyways? You know what I'm
Like, if
saying?
you have,
When
like,
it
a
comes to
dumb kid
choices,
like a
yeah, you
Donald
can make
Trump, what do
them.
you do?
But if I think about,
I
yo,
mean,
I'ma
I
shake
am
you,
convinced that
bruh,
Donald Trump's
bruh.
father was
I'm gonna
probably
need
like
you
a
to get
psychopath, which is,
under,
well, that's why he ended up being a sociopath, but he's still dumb.
bruh.
It's just,
All I'm saying is, I'll be a hypocrite if I say I don't think like some of those parents and be like, I want my kid to be the best they can be. That's a lie. I want my kid to be the best they can be. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to be your best. You can choose your path. But if I see you sitting down in your room, you have no goals, no dreams, no directions, my nigga,
but
I'm sorry. I will be overbearing. I'm be like, I'm going to need you to get on it. I'm going to need you to get this done. I'm going to
I
need you to
think
get
what
that
I
done.
mean
Like,
more, it's more like arbitrary things. It's not just wanting your kid to succeed, because really, ultimately, what you're doing is really
mhm,
making, like, this way in this example is really making sure that your kid can
right,
succeed. I mean, like, when people are
right.
like, I'm gonna have a very feminine little girl. Like, you just arbitrarily make up these rules about how your kid should be, and then you want them to live up to that. I don't
right.
mean, like, general things like that.
I agree with the Dassa though. Like, but your kid doesn't owe you to connect with you. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, your kid is a human. It's not a mini you. It
Mm-hmm.
really isn't. Like, he had
You're
Mhm.
basically a glorified trainer. Like,
right, right, right. Like, you have to accept that your kid
I don't want
have
that.
their life,
I don't want to.
their thoughts, and everything else. You can help steering them in the
mhm,
right direction, but at the end of the day, you can't make them accomplish things that you failed to accomplish to make up for like whatever failure that you
mm,
had.
mm,
And
Courage.
you can't
Mm.
make your kids be your fantasy. They're children,
Mhm.
not a fantasy that you're gonna like cook up and be like, my kid is gonna love pink. And then like when the kid grows
No.
up,
Mhm.
and then like, but that's the
That
thing,
could be a little
regardless of the
me.
color,
Little me. I
I
hate
want
when
it
they
to be
say
the
little me.
opposite.
Shut
regardless
up.
of like
Shut
what
up.
color that they choose, right? You keep pushing pink on them, and they're telling you, "Mommy, like I want a blue room," and you're like,
Mhm.
"Shh, you
Mhm.
are a girl.
Mhm.
Be a woman. That's the
You're the
thing. Like
picture. You're the
you
picture.
don't need like
I
a
know
lot of
better.
people like they don't even
I
take the
know
time
better.
to understand their kids. They just want to make their kid something, not realizing the kid is already something. You just need to help them figure out like what are they trying to accomplish? What do they want in this life? How can I best help them get to that?
Mhm.
That's why I don't want to have children, because I don't fucking want to
Yeah.
do that. Like, I want to do shit for myself. Like, I'm not gonna like train anybody else, and because that requires like patience. Because especially when you like noticing that somebody's fucking up, and you know that they're fucking up, and you're trying to tell them that they're fucking up, and they don't see it because
Mhm.
you've already been through it, but they haven't. Like,
Right.
how do you even approach that? Like, you can't make them feel like less than because
Mhm.
they're fucking up, because they don't
Mhm.
fucking know. And it's like it's a
Yeah.
very like sensitive situation, like to be like, hey, so I just noticed like you are lame as fuck, and you represent this family, and you have my last name, and people are gonna see you and they're gonna think about me, and I have to protect my
Mhm.
reputation. Let's fix you, and by fixing they just mean like let's make
Mhm.
you into a mini me instead of trying to help you
Mhm.
being. And I don't want like, I feel like maybe it's easier to preach because I know I'm never gonna have any children, so I can be a perfect
Preach.
parent.
Right? I can see like the best relationship from over here because guess what? I'm not gonna try
Yeah.
any of these theories out. How about that? Y'all can do that and report back.
That's messed up. I'm over
Mhm.
here sitting there like, oh no,
How to be
oh
a parent
no,
101,
no.
written by somebody
But
who
really, how do you know?
Complete
How do you know?
masterclass.
It's a lot to think about. Trust me, I overthink about this a lot. That's why I'm like, I don't even know where I stand. Because how do you know you're ready to guide
Mhm.
another little
You
human
all
being
just
when you're not
figuring it
even
out.
ready
when
yourself?
your ovary is
You
dangling.
figuring it out yourself. And you know you're changing all the time. You notice the changes in yourself and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna not only to have to deal with my changes, with who I'm becoming as a person, I have to guide a whole human
I
being
think that's a
into
like
society.
for me, like
Like,
just saying in terms of theories. I think that's an interesting way to. I mean, I have not seen this done because after all, I'm Haitian and I have Haitian parents, and my friends are
mm,
Haitian and they have Haitian parents. But I would like to see like
yo,
parents who actually approach um parenthood in in telling to their children that they do understand like all of the things that you were just saying that like I am
mm,
changing. Like I feel like parents often kind of like in front of their children, they act like they do know everything. They do kind of adopt that cape of Superman and
mm,
Superwoman that their children, as children, see them with. You
mm-hmm,
know, and they
mm-hmm,
never, and they feel like they have to kind of keep holding up that thing. And you can tell, like, when you get like old enough and your parents start talking to you about like other things, and
yep,
you're like, so
mm-hmm,
we were just faking this entire time. Like you feel me though. Like we all feel each other. Like I totally feel what you're saying, and
yep,
you're my parent. You know, like we're really relating right now on this
mm-hmm,
specific topic. But as children, you would never have
mm-hmm,
this conversation with me. You would act like kind of you're behind this
mm-mm.
veil of like appearances. Yeah,
Yeah, like
like
you
you really
perfect.
act like you do know
Yeah,
this, like you have the handbook to life and you do know the right way to go about things when you know for a fact that you don't. And we're all
but
figuring it out. And you feel like the
but
way
they
that
won't
you
admit
figured
that.
out, like you want them to follow it, but you're not telling them that you want them to follow it because that's the
Mm-hmm.
best that you know, but not necessarily that's the
Right
best out
now.
there.
That's the
You
best
know,
you know
that's not
right
necessarily
now.
the
Mhm.
best option. It's just what you know.
Right.
And I feel like if we could tell our children that, you know, more and be able to like really make them understand that you make the best choices from your options that you have available. Like I feel like that's
Mhm.
an easier way instead of
Mhm.
trying to give them like rigid rules and like 10
Especially
commandments
when
and
they
things like
find like
that.
a better way than you, but like you too sour
Yes!
to admit that they better.
Oh my
It's like
god.
you know what? We have an episode about parenting next week.
Yeah, I
So
would it too.
if you think this is awesome, just wait for the next episode. You'll see.
Mhm,
But I feel like this is why I'm in the middle. That's why I'm like,
mhm,
I get it, but then I don't. But then I'm like, man, I have experience, with kids because
mhm,
I have a big family, but I experienced, my little sister since she was one, and it was like almost as I raised her, I just
mhm,
didn't push her out, which is the part that I'm scared of. But it's like I love it. I love seeing, how she's
Mhm.
growing into her own, you know what I mean? And you know how Haitian parents, they, ignore you. They just feed you and send you to school. So as long as you're doing
Oh
good in school,
my
they don't even
gosh.
notice the
Yes.
changes in you. And then I'm like, I know this because I love those things, right? So I'm looking at her and I see her little differences, when she talked to me about how she feels about things. And I'm like, oh my God, I used to feel that same way. Like, I get it. It's not that bad. I promise. It will get better. Like, I love it. And I'm like, I would love a little human being, not necessarily a mini me. You don't have to be soft, Please don't be soft. I'm begging you, future kids.
Well,
I cannot deal with a
You know
kid
what I
who's
mean?
soft. Thank
you sound
you.
like Ross
But
Johnson.
Uh, this
but
kid about
I
to do
love it.
more
I
you
see her
now.
and I'm like, oh, it's awesome when you see that you had a hand in that. It
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily mean you made that kid who that kid is, but you are part of the process.
But I do feel like that though. I do feel like children do
They do.
pick up things from you. They may not be the exact same
Yes.
things that you were like really
I love
wanting
it.
them to pick up, but they do
Oh
pick
man,
up things
I have
from you.
I know. It's like, why couldn't you pick up this
well,
one?
that's the thing. Whatever. So people have
Why
to keep in
couldn't you
mind
be
too,
this
like the
way?
things that you're putting out is not exactly what people are receiving. So
Mhm.
right,
It's
like the
always like
thing that
that.
you're
It's
putting out for
always
the
like
kid to
that.
Mm-mm.
receive, that's like they're receiving it, but just not the way that you think that they're receiving it. You know? So you might want to be like, you trying to be a good example, right? Like
Mhm.
you're very
Yeah.
generous with other people. And in turn, like some people might end up taking advantage of you. And you
Hmm.
think that you're teaching your kid to be like, give into the world and be nice to other
Mhm.
people. Whereas
Yeah.
they might see it as, yo, like my mom is a doormat and everybody just take advantage
Right.
of her. So
Mhm. Yeah.
You're
it's the same thing
stupid.
about like you trying to teach your kid to be
Like, I ain't
strong,
trying to
right?
be
You don't
that.
take shit from people.
Mhm.
And you think that they're taking like, yo, like my mom, like she stands her ground or whatever. They
Mhm.
Hmm.
might take it as my mom never accept when she's wrong.
Mhm.
So
My
like
mom always trying to fight somebody.
your kids have filter.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my
it's like
God.
Snapchat.
Mhm.
Like yeah, your figure
Yeah,
might like
they're
be full of
never
like
getting it
acne and
through right
whatever.
way.
Yeah, it's like it's not gonna be the same way. So yes, you do your best to like pick up, but I think another thing like you can do too is trying to find out
Yeah.
how your kids are absorbing the things that you do by asking them like, how do
Mhm.
you feel about this, how do you see this, like a lot
Oh
of
my
the time.
gosh, talk to the children,
Mhm.
Miss
Mhm.
Ami.
Mhm.
Like nobody
What?
wants to talk to the children. Nobody
No,
wants
Yeah,
they
to
they
talk to
don't.
don't ask
They
children.
don't.
questions.
Nobody asks
They
them.
don't ask
Well, it's like,
questions.
you
They don't
making
ask questions.
decision to help somebody. You
They
never
don't
ask
ask
the person
Mhm.
what's gonna help them in the first place. How do you know what's
Mhm.
gonna help somebody when you don't even like you are making decision for them based on you. You using yourself as a prototype. You
Mhm.
already have so many experiences in the world. You've been through shit, like you've been through
Mhm.
like Vietnam and all that shit. And then
Mhm.
you want that kid to use your perception to
Mhm.
guide themselves. Whereas
Mhm.
you need to know what works for them so that you can go about it
Yeah,
like the way that
and you
works for
need
them.
to teach them
Yeah, that's true.
how,
That's
not
true.
what. Like you teach them
Right.
this is how you can think about something. This is what you can consider when you're looking at things. You tell them, you give them systems and processes. You don't just incult like you don't just like open their minds and like drop in knowledge, quote unquote. Like
Boom.
you have to like accept that your children.
I'm just saying, those are all the type of mental responsibilities that scares the hell out of me. It's like,
Yeah.
bruh, I have to teach you all those stuff, and I have to try not to pass my problems onto you, because I know I'm paranoid about a lot of shit, but I want my kid to go out there and live their life in the
And
world and
also
not have to
with
worry
that, I
anymore.
don't want my kid to be poor. I don't want my kid to be living that struggle
No,
life. I'm
no,
sorry.
honey.
See?
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
work on
God.
that.
I
I'm
was
not gonna
having that
lie.
I
conversation 2 days
can't.
ago. I'm like, if I'm not rich, I ain't having no kids because I
Oh.
mean, it's
Bruh.
Mm-mm.
already hard struggling by myself. Try at like another person. Like now you have to deal with like you complaining about your struggle and then your kid telling you they're
And
hungry
you're
and shit.
looking
Like,
at them and you feel
Bruh.
like Tifiki like make me zemin. Like you're like shit.
Yo,
Like
and I'm thinking about I can't think about that because I'm thinking about their future. I know like parents, especially being Haitian or whatever.
mm-hmm.
I don't think parents thought about high college, how they're gonna afford it. They just think they'll figure out a way, right? But me
They
knowing
think you're
better
gonna
now, I'm
smart enough
thinking, I'm
to get
like,
a scholarship, and then that's it.
right. They always
That's why
swear every kid is
you
smart
have to
enough
do
to
that
get
extra
one.
credit. Why did you get a 4.0? Where's the 4.2?
But now I'm thinking about inflation, bruh. I'm like, if parents from the old school are complaining how they were poor, right? And I'm thinking, I'm comparing their prices to the prices that we have now that we cannot afford, right? I'm like, imagine the future. What is it gonna be like for that kid? You know what I'm saying? It's not about having that kid and smiling and be happy. What is it going to be like for that kid, and what am I going to leave that kid? You know what I'm saying? Things happen every day. What if I cannot work paycheck to paycheck to take care of the kid? What if I fall down and I die? What's going to happen to that kid? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
it's just,
of course, like make sure that you have life insurance if you die,
yeah.
and
eh.
also make sure that they're not gonna be living with like certain like siblings that just don't even know how to take care of
And
children.
it's
You know what I
how do you
mean?
make sure of that when you're thinking that
I was
today
going
is
to
just a
say,
regular
you
And
day
not
have
until
to
you
having
think,
any
getting up and
children.
walking
yeah.
away? I mean,
Yeah, no,
listen,
but even
it's always the ultimate answer for me every time I ask these questions, which is
It's
why
like
it's
that,
my
not having.
ultimate answer. You know, I'm like, how do
right,
I avoid
even
this?
if you
How do
plan
I
it,
avoid that? How do I avoid this? Okay, got it,
I
gotcha.
cannot stand you, bruh.
It's
I
just
can't stand you. You
it's
making me feel bad for being in the middle. Like, which way do I want to go? Which
I
way
don't
do
know.
I want
I
to
You're
don't know.
go?
all
Like
married though, so
my little
That
sister.
doesn't. I feel like that's another thing. Like, people feel like that seals the deal. That might have been some other people's cases or older women cases or different generation, but I feel like nowadays you're not stuck. You still have options. If I feel like today, we're no longer on the same page. We're no longer where we're supposed to be. We're not in sync. I don't want what you want. You don't want what I want. I'm not gonna sit here and wait for to get the call and be like, "Hey, I'm the side chick and I got a baby, honey. I'm moving
I mean,
on.
I
Like,
totally
we're
get
moving
that though. Like
away."
for me, what I was really saying was that like you're kind of closer because you're married. Like for me, I would have to find somebody who will
I
keep
can't
keep me
stand you.
content me. You know, like I'm gonna have to find somebody who wants
Yeah,
to be with me for a while. Then we gotta be together for
that's
a
true.
while.
But then
Then you
again,
know
you can just be like those 16 and pregnant girls. You can
that
just go
is a
ahead, one
fact.
night stand.
How much
No,
money?
don't do it. Do
How much
not do
money you
it.
got?
Oh
Like
my god.
200, 400 mil? Like how much
Shoot.
money?
How much you pay per
Yeah,
episode?
like,
Let's
no, no,
do
maybe
All I
not.
it.
know
No, no,
is, all
not
I know is this podcast better give me $200 billion so that I can have a kid. Like
Yo,
that's my price tag
oh, we
to have a kid.
sponsoring
You
your
actually,
know?
kid. Shit.
I don't
Okay,
even have a
I
price.
hope if you think we're sponsoring your kid, I hope you don't expect us to show up to your virtual baby shower.
Yo,
Like that's just not gonna
I
happen.
don't even.
Okay,
Yes, you do. You have to
listen.
show up. I have to see you
If I
online.
have that
I
much money,
have to
I'm
see you
not having
online.
any baby shower. Are
I
you
am
kidding me?
swiping away that
Why would I
information.
even
Listen,
need these people? Like I have my shit. I can afford my shit by
That is
myself.
very true.
So
We already
all
sponsored.
I'm saying is, anybody want to volunteer to be, my surrogate for free? That's all I want.
that I would
That's
welcome as
it.
well.
I
Um,
would welcome that today. If somebody walking today and just give me that baby at 6 months. I don't like holding kids when they're from 0 to 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they're too tiny.
I
Like,
feel
I feel like I have conditions.
I guess
If
maybe
you
you
give me
should
a
wait until we start making babies robotically. Like we just have a
yo,
3D
that would
printer.
make my
that would
life.
work. Actually, I
Like,
think that
first,
would be amazing.
Maybe y'all need to
Like
wait.
I
I
don't
want
think
to
people
have a kid,
understand.
and then as soon as I like the kid comes out, like, it's like mama, and then it's like
Yes, thank
cool, cool, cool,
you.
cool, cool, cool,
Like,
cool.
I want milk. I don't have to cry. I can
Exactly.
tell you what I want. You know,
Mm-mm.
it will work.
Really.
You want me not
Man,
only to be pregnant, to be
Yeah, I
scared,
could just buy it
then
from a
to carry that child for 9 months. Not one, not two, 9 months.
that's almost
Why?
a
get a
whole
pet,
year. I mean, if you're taking summer
Almost a
vacation.
whole year.
get a plant.
Why? Why it
See,
gotta be that way? I just want to have it. Like, that's it. Just
I
come to
think
my
we should
door.
just be rich. Like you just pay somebody carry the kid, then you pay somebody to wake up in the
Yes.
middle of the
I
night,
mean,
and then
seriously though, why?
sometimes like when you're on vacation,
I just want
you
the
just
fun
come back.
part. I
Right,
want
the
the fun part.
shopping,
That's why I don't mind being
yeah.
an aunt. That's why I don't like being an auntie. Like I love the fun part. I'll run around the house with you
Oh,
all
I'm so
day.
excited.
But
Yeah,
you
I
want me
love
to
it.
change your diapers? Go get your mama.
I am so excited to be an auntie. I am definitely gonna be that auntie. But I
Yes.
can't wait until they're like maybe like 17, 18. Oh my
No, you
god.
don't want that.
Send
You
them
know,
You
to
don't
I
want
thought
me.
that.
Oh yeah, no,
I thought I would
I
be
Trust
definitely
me.
excited to
want
be an
that.
auntie. I'm actually not.
I don't have to be your mom. Like I can be cool with an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old.
You don't think you can be cool with a 13-year-old?
I mean, I can, but I can't really give them alcohol or weed.
Oh, so the alcohol age now is 18. Okay, you hear that,
Oh,
America?
we can be in
When you're
Haiti. We can
hunting,
be in Haiti. It's legal there, or is it legal in Canada at 18? I don't know. Somewhere it's legal
Yo,
somewhere.
I don't know.
somewhere.
I don't know.
You're
I
21
mean,
somewhere.
Well, I think I.
it's fun
Nah.
to have it's fun to have cool aunties and shit. Like I have two nieces, and sometimes I even forget their names. I think
Oh my God.
no. The reason for this is like they're only 2 and 3. Like they're not gonna remember the shit that I
Right,
do
like
for
when they
them.
that young, I'm like, I'm bored. Like you're
I
I
boring.
love
I'm
it when
like
they're that young.
right
Oh
now
my
I'm like
I like
look, my
God.
toddlers when they start
sister,
asking questions.
because like my sisters
Bruh.
and my brothers, they old enough to be grateful, you know? They're old enough, they're old enough
Yo,
to know that
not
like,
over this
like
conversation.
I'm making like I'm
Yeah, like you
at
can
this
claim
point I'm
credit.
making investment, like I'm giving you like life advice. I'm telling you how to save your
We're
money.
building this
Like I take
relationship.
you to
We're
a little
linking.
shopping spree,
We're
whatever.
building. Yes.
Like the things that like, I'm gonna wait like once my nieces they start to be like 7, 8, they're gonna like the memory is gonna be more clear. They'll remember the shit that I did for them. But until then,
No.
I'm gonna
But
put my
I really
excitement
just
on
kind of
pause.
like getting to learn children's personalities.
Oh
You
my
know, like
God,
I
that's my
like sitting
favorite
down. Like
thing.
this summer, I
Yes.
got to be with like my goddaughter and my little nephew,
Mm,
and like just sitting there and like listening to them. I mean, she is so funny.
yes.
She's oh my gosh, she's like a whole character.
I
But
love
you
it.
know, like you're sitting there and you're talking to them, and you're like, these are whole people. And
Yes.
they have
Their whole
such
thoughts and
an amazing
ideas.
way of seeing the world and kind of connecting and trying to make sense of it themselves that it's like, why would you want to stifle that and just
That's
trace
true.
something for them when they have such an amazing ability to trace it for themselves and to do what they
I
to
love
figure it
it.
out. I think the beauty of human life is just figuring that shit out. First of all, you don't have
It's
any choice.
beautiful.
Second of all, it is beautiful. You
It
know,
is.
so
It
like I feel
is.
like you shouldn't
That's the part I
rob
want.
children of that
Beautiful.
either.
Nice. I like that. That
That's
sounds
true.
very pretty. But still,
No,
I
but
get
it is. She said, but
Yeah,
still.
right? I mean, at least as an auntie, you can
I,
give them little shits back. Like you're like,
Yo,
oh,
you
it's a fun weekend,
I don't
guys.
know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like children could actually sense my lack of love for them.
Mhm.
Um, and like before, like children would just like stay the fuck away from me. Like I walk in the
Oh,
room and the children will not want to do any like like how they want to like play whatever. I'm like I just want to read
yeah.
my book, and then they
Mhm.
feel
Oh
it.
my
Too.
God.
They feel it. But like for the past 2 years, I think like they've been like attracted to me. Like they'll be like, "Cass, blah blah blah." You
Ooh,
wanna
your ovary is speaking.
And it's like at
Your
first I'm like
ovaries, they can smell it.
they almost
Time.
broke me too. I was like, holy shit, like, am I gonna have children? And it's like, nah, nah.
Yo,
Yeah.
I
no,
came close
they
though.
can
I
be.
came close, but yeah, like no.
They can be the best. I don't think having kids is the problem.
Mhm.
I think for me, it's the problems that are around having kids. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want to have you, but I don't want to give you my problems. You know what I'm saying? I'm very paranoid. I already know the moment I'm pregnant, I'm gonna get that test done. You know how you were talking about the biology part of it?
Mhm.
I know I'm gonna get that test done to test if you have anything coming out. You know what I'm saying? If there's something wrong with you, what do we need to do? And I also feel like I'm gonna mess you up the way that I think because I'm gonna ruin Christmas for you and let you know it's a fat white guy. I already know I'm gonna do that.
But I
I
also
I
ruined
think that
know.
Christmas.
ultimately, like, just people in general tend to kind of overvalue the positive of an experience over the negative sometimes. So, like, ultimately, if the
Mm,
most of, because ultimately all you can do is your best. So you're never gonna be a perfect parent. First of all, accept that, and second of all, make it as good as possible. And your children will be fine. Everybody needs therapy anyway, so they'll be there. Like everybody
Ah!
should go to therapy, so don't take it
I'm over
personally.
you.
But
I'm
like
over
just
you.
Make it
do
enjoyable
make
for
it
both
as
parties. You're not the
yeah,
only one who should be able
make
to
it
enjoy
as
it,
good as you can for everyone. Like just have
You hear
fun,
that,
man.
future
'Cause at the end
kids?
of the day,
I'm not saying multiple, one or two. You hear
But
that?
one last thing on this though, if you are going to have children, and I'm all for people want to have children, just really think about why do you want to have the
the
children
why is
first?
important.
Is it like
Yeah.
society forcing you? Is it you wanting to leave your legacy? Or you feeling like you're ready to take on a new human being that you're gonna guide through life?
Mhm.
And also think about, do you like, what are the tools that you have to take on that responsibility? Are you ready?
Mm.
Like, do you have the finance, like, do you have like, is your financial situation in good standing?
Mhm.
Are you a good person? Like, will you
Woo,
be giving that person?
Are you a
no
good
shitty
person?
adults,
Yeah.
please.
Are you? I mean, people can pretend that they're good person all they want, but in their head, they know the
They
assholes. Like, they
sure
know
know.
who they
Whatever
are.
you lie to
No
yourself, you
shitty kids
know, and you
allowed.
judge
You
yourself
know,
for it.
you fucking know. And then, ask yourself, like, how do I undertake this? Like the position where I am in life right now, would I be okay with my parents bringing me in that situation?
Mhm.
Mm.
And also, just, if you just don't want to have sex and not have children, just have sex
Wrap
and
it
not
up.
have children. And also,
Bruh.
if an accident happened, feel comfortable to make the choice, the best choice that you feel like that's gonna work for you. I'm not gonna tell you what choice you should and shouldn't make,
Mhm.
but don't let people tell you. Don't let religion. Don't let your parents. Don't
Or
let anybody.
don't have a kid because of your partner.
Woo,
Don't feel like you have to have a kid because your partner say so. Like, or because you're
Do
trying to keep him or trying to keep her. Like any of
Definitely
that.
not
Like
gonna
make that
give
decision for my kid.
them. No, just
What?
no. I said I was agreeing with you. Definitely not gonna keep them. You can't, like,
Bruh,
no,
yes, like you're
not do
gonna
it.
give that kid problems for the rest of their lives. Don't bring them and your
yep.
problems.
The
Like don't
children
think that can fix it.
always know. They always know.
Yes, and then
They
don't
sense
bring them
those
in
little
this world to
things
fix your
that
problems.
whatever
They
it
Fix
is,
know.
yours.
they know. Whatever you
Yeah,
think
and
you're hiding from them, they
they
know.
Children are not
know.
dumb.
They know.
Not dumb.
And
They're not dumb. And
yeah,
they're nosy as fuck.
Mhm.
uh I know I would. Like no, and I do think about that. That's why I'm like I feel like you need to work on yourself before you decide to have a kid because I feel like that's the process I'm going through right now. I don't want to have a kid to fill up a void. To be like, oh, I've always wanted a little family. I've always pictured it. So I should have you and make you do this because I want to have this tradition. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Fill
All
up that
right.
void a different way. Get therapy for yourself before you have a kid. That's
Feel
it.
it. We
Mhm.
are out of
Good time.
time with this
I think
Oh,
story.
wait, is it
rent
time?
time,
Oh,
rent
I'm like, I was ready to
time,
tell
rent
y'all more.
time.
Yeah.
Pretty
That's how,
good.
like, that time passed by pretty quick because, we're pretty
We're
amazing.
having fun.
La gueule, non, on veut plus de violence. Black on black, zéro tolérance. Black Lives Matter. Je vais quand même te couper la queue. Tu pourras plus faire la file. Tu pourras pas les filer. Mon couteau est trop effilé. Moi j'en ai marre, je vous l'ai déjà dit. Y a pas que moi, y a surtout les esprits. Jusqu'à la mort, c'est ça la vie.
Yeah.
Why are you so angry?
Bruh.
Why are
Ask
you
me again,
angry?
please. Somebody ask me
Why
again.
are you
All right, I'm going to tell you.
So angry.
so angry?
Huh. I'm not going to name this specific show because a lot of shows do it. I don't want to like have one stand out. But okay, this might be one of my silliest rant yet, but I'm legit annoyed, right? Like, I really, really, really hate when they have a so-called Haitian characters on TV. Okay.
Mhm.
Like, if they want to have, an Hispanic character, they got an Hispanic person to play it, right? They speak Spanish,
Mhm.
blah, 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 and all that stuff, or they have an accent. It's fine. But when it comes to Haitian characters, not only they don't hire like
Mhm.
an actual Haitian actor,
Mhm.
the accent that they get,
Ah,
Oh
the
my
fucking accent. Oh
god.
that
Lord.
shit sounds so fake. Like, what type of Haitian you think that speak like that? Like,
Mhm.
bruh, at least do your fucking research. You know what I'm saying? Like, do your research, right?
Or when they make a makeup
Oh
language,
yeah,
Oh,
they can do that.
Jesus.
it's a
Like, we're not in
real language.
actual
It's
language.
a
Like, it's not an
real
actual person.
language.
Okay, I
You
feel
could
like
Bruh.
just
we
get
all can be
somebody
into
to
that
like
shit,
write a
but
couple
we have
lines.
to.
No, no,
But
that's fine. That's fine, honey. Cause be angry with me because we
that's
angry. I'm
because we
angry.
angry. Like
Be angry
it's
with
not
me
even like
today.
it's just like oh my god, like this is so infuriating.
Listen, I want y'all to be angry with me because I thought it was me for so long. I've been carrying this with me for a very, very long
Tell us how you
time.
feel, girl.
Okay. And last but not least, right? They make a freaking joke about our stereotype. Like,
Mm.
every time it's a Haitian character, it has to be some voodoo shit that is not even
Mhm.
accurate. Not even
Mhm.
accurate. Pissing. It's not even
Mhm.
accurate. Like, if you're gonna
Mhm.
do it
Oh
right, right?
shit, that's so fucking
Mhm.
true.
Or they mention some
And it's not that
bullshit.
hard to find out about either.
No
All you
one
have to do
cares
is
Bruh.
if
call
you
up
research about
somebody. All you
Yes.
have to do is call up somebody.
Like, bruh. Like, that shit makes me wanna stop watching the damn show or movie
Nobody
altogether.
wanna do
Like, do
research
your
about
fucking
the little
homework, bruh.
guy.
Like, if you're gonna have an
Mhm.
English character, they be having English people play American, but they don't make them keep their same accent. Their accent be switching real
Mhm.
quick to American accent because they know they are playing an American characters. If you have an Hispanic person playing a character, they know they have to dial up the accent because they are playing, an immigrant. So why is that you are playing a character because you think, oh yeah, it's Haitian, oh they have that problem. Oh yeah, we went there. It's always either some missionary thing
Mhm.
or it's a voodoo thing. And it's like, that's
Mhm.
cool. That's cool and all, because that's how you see us.
And then they just say Jean-Claude Duvalier out of
Yeah,
nowhere. It's like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck?
And then I'm like, okay, so you are okay with them playing that character. That's cool. But the least you can fucking do, my nigga, do your homework. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Do your
That's
homework.
just poor writing,
Not
honestly.
even
That's
that.
just
Go,
poor writing.
yo, they have that shit all over YouTube now. You don't even have
Mm.
to pay someone. They have that shit on the internet, bruh. Just do a quick Google search and fucking do your
Mm.
homework right. That's all I gotta say. If you're gonna play a character, play that shit right. And I don't only blame the writers, I blame the fucking actor. Like, you the one acting, my nigga. You the one acting. Act right. All right. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's the whole movie. They'll have like $1 billion
Bruh.
budget to bring a
Yes.
consultant to find out what kind of coffee that they need to pour in the morning, but they can't
Bruh.
have a
For
consultant
languages and
to
the
find out
respect
how to
for
play
them.
Haitian and like what a history is. Like,
Yes.
give me a
They
fucking
have
break.
That's what
no
You
I
have the money.
mean.
respect. They make up
Mhm.
words, and I'm like, that's not Creole, honey. That's not
Yep.
Creole. Have the respect.
Or it's the worst when they even like have that fake French
Oh
in
Oh
my
there, and then it's
God.
my
played by a Haitian
gosh.
person. It's like you're
Bruh.
Haitian.
And they always
Stop
have that name
trying
like
to be blah
Mama,
blah nah.
Mama Intel, Mama this,
Mhm.
Mama that. I'm like,
Mm.
bruh, that's not how we speak. That's
We
not how we
don't have that
speak.
shit in Haiti. There
Yeah,
is
we
no
don't
mama
have no damn
nothing in
Mama
Haiti.
Intel, Mama huh, Mama
Mm.
who.
Mm.
That's not our name, bruh. Get it
Mm.
right.
Mm.
What? Yo te di mat ou bien
Bruh,
tom da
I'm
They
kompren
would
bagay.
never
Oh,
saying.
do
no,
that.
not
They
speaking
would never
Creole.
do
Why?
that. That
Like,
requires too much knowledge about the culture. It's like they're not trying to do that
bruh,
kind of
it's
work.
not that hard though. Get it right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
They don't
That's all
value
I
us.
got.
Awesome.
They don't value our
Get it
culture.
right. All right, guys.
We're gonna do some voodoo on your ass. That's what we're gonna do.
You stupid.
All
Uh,
right.
I'm done.
We from the old school. Don't let them rope you. You running things, stay in your lane, wishing to smoke you.
Connected à la zone. Ça qui mourit, ça fait aïe.
Thank you, everyone. And don't forget to tune in for our next episode next week on Wednesday.